everyone, this is Billy Scott here, and I wanted to do a video on one of the most important skills in your business. Once I learned this skill, it increased the number of enrollments, and it's so important to learn this skill of closing because it makes the difference from just presenting and sharing information with people to actually getting them ready to get started with you. And so this is very important. The first thing I want to talk about is the mindset of closing, and then we'll talk about some tips and techniques that you can start applying right away. They're simple and duplicatable, so your team can learn them right away, and you can actually role play them right away with some of your team members as well. But let's talk about mindset first. First thing is you want to have enthusiasm. You got to be excited about what you're talking about, what you're representing, right? Because the definition of a sale is a transfer of belief. And so if you're not excited or enthusiastic, I might have a challenge believing that you believe, right? So why should I? Okay, so you got to get excited. The second thing is you have to have confidence. Now, your first confidence will come from your hope and, the goals you're going after and just having an opportunity that can help you achieve things you didn't have access to before. But later, your confidence will increase from your success, right? Every time you get a new enrollment or a new promotion or a check, right, you're going to increase your confidence over time. But again, if I'm going to partner with you in business, I need to know that you're confident in where you're going in order for me to follow you. So enthusiastic and confidence. Also, start taking notes on the enthusiasm and the attitude, energy, and the confidence that your support team has. Because if you just follow them, you do what they did, then you can get what they have, right? Okay, so now let's talk about some of the actual tips. 6 tips that have been proven over time. This has come from some of the top income earners and leaders and coaches in our profession, and has been proven over and over for people that have went out and achieved top levels and top income in their company. So here's tip number 1. This is after they've seen a presentation, you will take them through these 6 steps. So number 1 is, what did you like best? That's a good question. You notice I didn't say, what did you think? Because what did you think could open it up for a longer conversation and negative or positive, right? But if you just say, what did you like best? This is a good question because a positive question leads to a positive answer. That's the first thing. The other thing is you find out what was important to them because it might not have been the same thing that's important to you. You might be focused on becoming a top income earner and lofty goals. They might say, hey, I've been looking for a way to earn extra $500 to $1,000 a month. I think this could be it. You won't know that unless, of course, you ask them that question. So you find out what's important to them, right? So then you can share what's important to you or agree with them. And then you move to part number 2 or question number 2. And you ask them, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say you see your interest? A 10 being you're ready to get started. It makes sense. Or down to a 1, it's not for you, right? And then, of course, they might say something like, I'm at a 9, I'm at a 10, I'm ready to get started. What do I need to do? See, this is an important question. Sometimes they're ready to get started, but if you don't ask them question number 2, you might not recognize they're ready, and you start oversharing and end up talking them out of being interested by sharing information that wasn't important to them. So that's question number 2, right? But if they're not exactly ready to get started, they're not a 9 or a 10, then you continue on through steps 3 through 6. So let's go to number 3. Number 3 is a question. You ask them, well, let me ask you a question. Okay, if you were to get started with us part-time, how much extra income per month would make it worth it for you? Part-time, right? And usually they'll give you an answer. They'll say, an extra $1,000 a month, extra $2,000 or $3,000 a month, right? Okay, great. Now you move to number 4. Number 4 is about time. So you say, okay, great. Well, hey, how many hours per week would you be willing to carve out of your already busy schedule to start working towards that $2,000 per month? Now they'll say, 10 hours a week or 15 hours a week. Okay, great. All right. Then you ask them question number 5, right? Or step number 5, which is asking them about how many months. This is important. So let's say they say $2,000 per month within 10 hours per week. So now we're going to let them know, okay, great. With you not having experience, that there's going to be a learning curve. It's going to be a process. It'll be nice for you to achieve that your first month, but there's also, it could also take a month or 2 just for you to get the learning in before you really mature to getting to $2,000 a month. So my question now is, how many months would you give it in order for it to get up to $2,000 a month, right? That's an important question because you're setting realistic expectations, okay? And they might say 3 months. Now, you pause right here before you get to the last step Because sometimes one of those numbers is off. They might say, I want to get to $15,000 a month, and I only got 5 hours per week, right? So before you don't overpromise and you don't mislead people. You don't want to say, okay, great, we can help you do that if it doesn't make sense. You can pause and backtrack and say, well, hold on one second. You said earlier you work 40 hours a week right now, and you're making $15 an hour or $20 an hour. You make 75,000 a year. So, here you got to, again, be realistic. One of those numbers has to change. Either the money has to come down or the hours got to go up, right? And so you pause. And then when it makes sense, then you move to step number 6, which ties those last 3 questions together. And so I would say, hey, perfect. Well, it sounds like you're on the right track. You get the vision here. Let me ask you this last question. If we can give you the support and a game plan and get started on it right away, that would put you on track to start earning an extra $2,000 per month with 10 hours per week commitment, okay? And we can show you a game plan on how to get your business to $2,000 a month within 3 months, you'd be ready to get started, right? Because you just told them that you can help them get a game plan that will help them achieve everything they said they wanted from the business. So if I can give you what you said you wanted, you're ready to get started. And usually, and I'll pause and I'll let them answer, right? And usually the answer is, well, yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family. Let's get you started right away. We'll get your website up today. And we have that game plan to start working on your first enrollments, first promotion, and your training. And I can't wait to introduce you to some of the other team members. It's that simple, guys. Keep it that simple. See, there's a lot of ways to close. There's a lot of ways to get people to sign up. But you don't want to just do what works. You want to do what duplicates. You want to have a flow and a system that it's easy to teach, like these 6 tips, and it's easy to duplicate. So then your team members and your leaders can continue to do presentations and close and enroll people, whether you are there or not. And that's the kind of business that you want. So hopefully this video helps. You can comment on the bottom, share it with your organization. And definitely share some of the results that come from applying this in your business. And we'll have more videos like this to come. Have a good one.